do. So, Acho, is Ezekiel Elliott still a premier running back?
I got to say no, but it's not necessarily my feeling. It's not my opinion. It's the facts of the situation. So it depends how you define premier. Now, when you're talking about Zeke, what made Zeke a premier running back once upon a time? He was extremely powerful, extremely explosive, and a crazy receiving threat out the backfield. What made Le'Veon Bell a premier running back? He could do it out the backfield. He could do it catching the ball. McCaffrey, same thing. Kamara, the same thing. That's what made Ezekiel Elliott a premier running back. And the fact of the matter is, statistically, he just doesn't show it anymore. And I could talk and again, try to give y'all superfluous, fanciful words. But instead, I'm just going to show y'all a very simple full screen.
Oh, man.
And we talk about beast mode, but right now you got to look at least mode. Look at Zeke. 2016. You can start at the top, actually. The top is 2020. Look at his rushing yards per game, Sal. But more importantly, look at his reception long. Everybody's going to tell you all about rushing yards. But what makes running backs premier outside of Derrick Henry is their ability to be both. Zeke's reception long was 19 yards this year. Then 2019, it's going down. His rushing yards per game were greater, and his reception long was greater. 2018, yards per game greater, reception long greater. 2017, yards per game greater, reception long greater. 2016, the year he came into the league, yards per game nearly double, and reception long nearly 4 times as great. Zeke has gotten exponentially less dangerous. So if the things, Marcellus, that made Ezekiel Elliott premier are no longer being displayed, then I don't know how you can say he's premier. What do they say? Potential energy is simply energy that's yet to be used or yet to be reached.
Okay.
So is Zeke potentially a premier running back? If you were to ask me that, different question. But if you're asking me, is Zeke currently a premier running back? I'm excited to hear your opinions and your feelings, but factually, you'd be wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm the one on this show that started this Zeke decline conversation. Stop, thief! Like, let him wear our princely guards. You up here stealing my full screens. Heard you stole Nick Rice yesterday, too. Is that what you do, Acho? Yeah, look at me. You know why you laughing, America? Because this boy is caught. Plagiarism. I can't do. I started this gangster and this the thanks I get? Hello. All right, let me get back on topic. There's a difference between regression, decline, and just, you sorry. When you talk about premier status, it is not given. It is earned. And Ezekiel Elliott earned premier status. We're talking about 3 Pro Bowls in his first 4 years that put him up there. Now, in 1 year of playing football, in his first year rookie campaign, which was amazing, you weren't a premier running back. People were put on notice, kind of like how the Pro Bowl goes. They always say it takes 2 years to make the Pro Bowl. The first one to be noticed and the second year to be recognized. Zeke was noticed as like, damn, that boy came out of Ohio State ready. And then the second year, oh, no, he's one of the premier running backs. So if it takes you longer than a year to get it, it's going to take you longer than a year to lose it in my world. Ezekiel Elliott is still the 8th leading rusher in the NFL. Despite being in decline, despite regressing, as you showed in my full screen. So the funny thing about Zeke now is what heights has he fallen from is what we need to assess.
Yes, sir.
Because he's flying still at a higher altitude than a lot of these running back planes on other teams. But you're saying that he's not premier anymore. He has too much resume, too much of a body of work for us to go that far. I will call Zeke out like I did early in the season. And yes, he is in decline because of injuries, because of the offensive line, because of retirements, whatever you want to say. No Dak, the running game is the focus for defense, whatever it wants to be. The point is he still a premier running back? Until this dude drops out at least the top 10 after putting up that body of work, oh yeah, he's still premier for me. Got to bring in Fox NFL analyst LeVar Arrington. So LeVar, is Ezekiel Elliott still a premier running back?
He's absolutely not a premier running back today. It is what it is. If you look at the quote that Stephen Jones made, it's pretty interesting because if you kind of look at it at face value, no one has doubted, all right, ever in the organization where Zeke is what? Where he's going. All right?
Oh, stop. You ain't leaving. Oh, you stop.
You want that?
I hate the people in the movie theater that talk. Shut up during the movie. Shut up. What?
Do you want that to sizzle in your spirit, or do you want to?
I do want it to sizzle right now. I don't feel it.
Because here's the thing:
add some water to the.
If he's premier, then why do we have to not doubt where he's going? Why can't we just live in where he is? All right. So to me, I think it's a damning.
Oh, Lord. Wait, LeVar. Wait, LeVar. Let that sizzle. Let that sizzle. People missed that. America missed it. Sale just now caught it. People missed that bar you just dropped. Please, one more time, Reverend.
What I'm trying to say is you don't have to give a quote about doubting where you think he's going if he's premier, because he should already be what he is. That's the point. Stephen Jones said it. He probably didn't even mean to do it, but he did. The reality here is Zeke may have the potential, as you mentioned, to possibly be that premier back once again. And maybe we're not going to doubt that he can go towards that road, that landmark of being a premier running back once again. We don't doubt that. But as it stands today, you're not a premier running back. It's where you have to go, not where you are.
Man, look, LeVar, you weren't here yesterday when I gave Greg Jennings his props, because calling games has changed how he analyzes the game. You having your new radio show, Up in Game, has changed how you analyze these conversations as well. Good Lord, LeVar Arrington. See, I'm a guy who's been in a position of being a premier defensive end and then a bum. And I went through that process of the decline. And it's funny to hear you say and hear you express what Stephen Jones was really trying to get at. I remember it brought back memories of no, Wiley's going to be fine. And I never used to hear that because Wiley was fine.
Right.
And it's crazy to hear that. Now, let's be real. It's perception reality, because he's still number 8 in the NFL when this is a passing league. And if you don't have a quarterback, good luck trying to be a running back. Look at him in terms of the other 7 running backs in front of him. 4 of the top 7 rushers are on playoff teams. That's barely half, a little over half. That means there are a few other guys who are not. The running game doesn't dictate outcome like it used to in the 90s and the 80s. So Ezekiel Elliott sitting there with a patchwork offensive line and no quarterback for real. I love you, Andy Dalton, of late, but stop playing. What are we saying about Ezekiel Elliott? That his worst performances ever are still top 8 in the entire NFL? I don't think that guy is out of premier status if every other year of his career he's been premier.
I think the problem you have to remember, because I looked up that same stat, Marcellus, but I found the deception in it.
Yeah.
See, Derrick Henry leads the NFL in rushing attempts, and he leads the NFL in yards. Dalvin Cook is second in the NFL in rushing attempts, and he's second in the NFL in yards. But Ezekiel Elliott is 5th in the NFL in rushing attempts. So I would hope, Sel, that he would be 5th in yards or better. The problem is he's 5th in rushing attempts, but he's 8th in yards. So if everyone is working for the same hourly wage, how come Zeke is working 5th but getting paid less?
I can answer that because he ain't got a quarterback. So guess what? He got to do the dishes and serve the meals.
Well, and I would submit, I would say that's right.
Yeah.
Except for I look at James Robinson, running back for the Jaguars. I can't name their quarterback.
I ain't talking to you.
He's 4th in the NFL in attempts, but he's 3rd in yards. So if your biggest bargaining chip again for Zeke is, well, he's still 8th in the NFL and top 10 in rushing, you got to remember, he's 5th in attempts. So even what he's doing and how much y'all are doing for him, he's not matching that in the output. The input to Zeke is not matching the output from what Zeke has given y'all. I tried to make the argument for which you said.
I got it.
I was like, wait, Zeke is still top 10. But then I found out that the devil was in the details. I don't like messing with the devil unless I find him in them details.
You know, what's interesting is Alvin Kamara doesn't have more rushing yards than Ezekiel Elliott, but I would say that Alvin Kamara is a premier running back. I'm basing my criteria off of this and this alone. If I were Stephen Jones, if I were the owner or GM chooser of my talent in the draft, or who I'm going to trade for, or who I'm going to make my franchise guy, I'm asking myself, would I choose this guy to be my guy? Is this my premier feature guy that I'm going to put on my team? And I just kept coming to the answer, no.